friends, and welcome to the next part of our declutter / collection series, where today we're going to be going over all of my single shadows in my collection. Today is very much not going to be a declutter. I really would be shocked if I actually ended up decluttering any of this, but instead consider it very much just we're going to go over my collection of single shadows. I'm just going to swatch them all out and we're going to look at them and see what I happen to have. Kind of want to do this entirely for myself, if we're being honest, just to get a better sense and remind myself of what I actually happen to own, because I am very bad at not actually using my single shadows as often as I would like to, and that is something I desperately need to change in my life. So we're just gonna go palette by palette, swatch them out, take a look at what I have, and this, please to myself, reminder just to use these. I do think I'm actually gonna do like a little challenge for myself where I'm going to kind of do like a new pan left behind for every one of these palettes, and I think maybe start a single shadow panning project, because I do currently pan my palettes, aka my eyeshadows, and my like traditional palettes, but I'd kind of like to start adding some of these single shadows in too. So welcome to today's video. My name's Kat and I love beauty, so I would love if you'd consider subscribing if you're interested, and if you'd like to see more beauty content as well. We are right now doing a collection / declutter series of every category in my collection, so there's tons of videos like this. And I'm gonna start with the pinks. I'm gonna start with lighter colors and go darker. This might be filmed over several days just depending on the lighting, but we're gonna try to start with some of these lighter colors. All right, I have some of the shades swatched out, so we're starting with right here. First one is Pretty for Your Face, Pretty's for Your Face Razzmatazz. Really like this one. It is kind of like, it's very reflective, it's kind of a little more raspberry leaning, and I really think that this is a stunning shade. Next is one I actually am gonna get rid of, which I did not think I'd do that, but this is Prima Ballerina by Copacetic, and I really do like it. It's just like a soft pink, but this the binding agent seems to have gone out on the shadow, and when I pressed in it, it just absolutely went everywhere, and kind of like, I just don't think that one is necessarily performing the same way it used to. It's still like a very nice light pink, but yeah, I think the formula kind of went off, so that's gonna be like the only type of thing that I think I'll get rid of, is ones that I think the formula's changed. Next, number 3 here, so again, kind of similar. I do like pinks that are very similar to this. That is Baby from Chaos Dirt, I believe, and really pretty, really sparkly, beautiful everyday shade. Then a little more of an icy pink next is Illusion from Copacetic Cosmetics. Really nice too, just more of an icy kind of pink. This one is interesting. It leans a little more orangey than pinky than I was expecting, because when you see it in the pan, it's still very pink. And this is Shine On by Pretty's by Your Face. And after that, the more icy kind of look. So again, looks very icy in pan, and this is Light as a Feather by Pretty's by Your Face. And yeah, it's just like an icy kind of almost like purpley, like icy purple leaning shade. Very pretty. Yeah, I do feel like, I don't know how well it's turning up in the light, but it does have like an icy purple, almost bluey tint to it. Very nice. Next here, this is more like pinky goldy, and this is Terra Sphere by Terra Moons. And I do really love Terra Moons formula. Like this one is definitely giving, goldy pink, maybe a little bit of an orange fleckled in with it as well. Then right here, so this one, it's really not as reflective. It looks a little more muted compared to some of the other ones, and it's a little more like orangey pink, but this is Fame by Pretty for Your Face. Not as interesting as the other shades, I guess, but still not that bad. We have here, so a very metallic shade is Honeysuckle, which is a satin shade from Clionadh, and I do tend to forget that I have some of these satin ones, because all of my other Clionadh shades happen to be in one palette, so I always forget that I have others. But this one, it is very satin. It looks like not quite matte, but you really don't see a reflective like glow to it. And then right here, so getting a little more red, which is not as much for me, this is Golden Hour by Copacetic, and I'm not that into red shades. I do find that this one, it leans kind of more dark pink / red, but a little intimidating for me. And then one of the flaky shades from Copacetic, this is Sith Lord, so part of their Star Wars collection, and you can see here, so I did mainly buy this one because it was part of the Star Wars collection, and it's kind of a red / I would say like rusty orange. The flaky formula is very interesting, and I do tend to really enjoy playing with it. But yeah, like another one that I really don't wear that often and definitely need to try more. And then we have Eaters of Light by Copacetic, which is a lot more orangey. So So it's interesting, this palette, like I did kind of put together all my pink shades, but I do have several oranges slash reds, I guess. So yeah, like it's a slash shade here. Very, very orange leaning, very sparkly too though, like very, very pretty. Okay, next row. So first off, we have this really dark kind of not even raspberry, it was almost like kind of looking like a little bit of a grape type of shade here. And this is Merlot by Clionadh. So yeah, kind of right with that grape kind of thing. Like it does definitely give wine. It's a foiled shadow, so it's a little bit more reflective than the satin one. But at the same time, like I find this formula isn't as impressive. Like, I mean, compared to their stained glass, and really nothing is. Like these are significantly cheaper as well. So I know I did buy a few of them for that reason, but I almost feel like it's just worth your money to just invest in the stained glass shadows if you're buying from Clionadh, because a lot of them, they're fine, but they're nothing really like that spectacular. Next one, again, like more of a raspberry type of shade, and this is Dracula from Sydney Grace. Love the name. Love that it's definitely a wine raspberry kind of moment, and I have not raved about it yet, but I love Sydney Grace. I think they have one of the most beautiful formulas. Here, I think this is Sydney Grace again. Yes, it is Today and Forever. Really like a shimmery metallic shade. I think that this one is especially beautiful. I did wear this one actually pretty recently too, and it was gorgeous. So this one, very, very much one that I love. And is the next Sydney Grace? Probably. This is State Fair. So right here, more pinky, a little more of a vibrant pink compared to some of the others in this list, and a little more corally, I find. Then we have more of a red leaning pink, red raspberry again. Pretties for your face, and this is Trinbago. Very nice, very, very nice. Definitely looks a little red in comparison to the other ones too. And then we absolutely need to rave about this shade. Didn't necessarily fit in with the pinks, but I think I just put it there because it was one of the only spots it worked. This is the Pastel Roses, the shade Phantom, and I am obsessed with their brand. I don't see enough people talk about them, but like, oh my god, they make some of the most beautiful, truly reflective, vibrant multi-chromes, and I have quite a few shades from them. I'm obsessed with all of them because they are ridiculously beautiful. Like, just looking at how the sun is catching this one is just truly amazing. So from our pinks, we literally only just got rid of one, and that's just because it's kind of falling apart. But again, like I said, not going to be having a lot of shades leaving the collection. This is really just more of an overview of what I happen to own. So next, I just pulled up a palette of mattes that I have from Sydney Grace. So I do get, they have mystery boxes that come out every year in their Christmas and July sale, and I usually get all of them. I didn't this year, and it was like one of the first years that I haven't, but I do believe that these are all kind of accumulation of different mystery bundles in the past. So first off, a kind of, it looks more peachy in person. This is Peanut Butter Cookie. Then right here we have Sitting on the Dock. This one is Sandstorm. Right here, Horseback Riding. Going a little lighter again. Oh my god, White Sand Beach. Time to Celebrate. Rosado. I really, really like this shade. That is a really, really pretty purple. Picnic Basket. Backpacking. There we go. Let's make that a little clearer. Backpacking. Petit Four. Right here. Prairie Smoke. And Royal Fern. So again, just a palette of mattes, and I do like these. I definitely need to use them more again. Very, very fantastic formula. Really, really love Sydney Grace, and like I've always had such a fantastic time every time I use them. Okay, next we have this little palette of Sydney Grace shadows. I can't remember if these all came in a mystery bag together or if I just kind of created a little palette of them by myself, but either way, color story is stunning, and especially I like these pinks. I like these. I like all of it. Sydney Grace through and through. You're just gonna see like so many shades from them. I think that they're like one of the best brands out there for single shadows, and I like just love pretty much everything I have from them. So let's break these down shadow by shadow. So first off, our little caramelly brown. This is Abundance, and that's just a really, really pretty brown shade. Next, this is kind of like a gunmetal shade, which is really, really nice, and it is called Traveling Elegance. Yeah, so it's kind of gray, definitely a little like flicks of gold in there maybe. Really, really pretty. Then more of a dusty shade. I feel like in person it looks almost like a dark mauve, but it's kind of looking a little gray pulling in this. And this is Bonfire. Yeah, it looks a little gray, which is interesting because I did not think that's kind of how it would pull. Now we have a dark blue. So this is more of a dark blue shimmer, but you can't really tell as much in the swatch. I feel like it still kind of looks matte. This is, oh my god, Let's Cuddle. Yeah, I feel like the swatch of it looks a little more matte, so maybe it's more of like a satin shade, but this definitely looks like a shimmer in the pan. More of a periwinkle blue, which I happen to really like. Periwinkle is one of those shades that I just always want to wear. This is Force of Nature. Very pretty. And then this, it's kind of like a dark, it's still kind of bluish, kind of grayish, but very leaning black, and it's Crushing Waves. So just a matte shade, very dark. Into our pinks. So here, this is a beautiful metallic. This is Start Somewhere. Really pretty. Very high impact metallic. I find this shade very similar kind of formula. I really like this type of shade from them. Then this is more of like a bone pink. It's called Made It Happen. It's very light pink. Looks almost like a bone ivory kind of shade, swatched out, but it does have a bit of light pink pigment. And then more of a dark mauve. This is All or Nothing. Very nice as well. Okay, I'm gonna do this huge collection next, and just to kind of get through it because it is a bit of a mess. And I will very much say this palette is my random other things that don't fit. So here I have a few blushes. I'm not gonna swatch these, but they're all blushes or a highlighter from Sydney Grace. And then we're gonna go into, these are all shadows from JD Glow, which I don't believe is a brand anymore. And then we're just gonna kind of make our way through all of these other randoms, which I know there's some Sydney Grace, there's some Pretty Straight Your Face, definitely Pastel Roses, just a bunch of random things that don't fit in my other palettes. So yeah, we'll start with all the JD Glow. Very unfortunate that JD Glow is not really a brand anymore because these are stunning. I don't know if they've re-released anything under a new name, but these were always such a beautiful, sparkly type of formula. And I mean, one thing that I kind of like and dislike is that they were always in these huge pans, which on one hand is nice because it's better bang for your buck, but others, like, I'm never going to use this up. This is going to be just a huge thing. Slash, it doesn't fit as well in my other like single shadow collections, you know? So it's always like, it's nice that you get more shadows, but also it's kind of a pain. So we're starting off with this very first shade, which it's a pink, but it's more of like an iridescent pink and really leaning more towards the white side. This is, okay, I'm completely wrong. This is the shade Lit, and I think this is actually a highlighter from Pretty Straight Your Face. So yeah, that I'm completely wrong with that one. I probably should have checked things first, but this goes into that general collection I have over here of like blushes and stuff, which I do think I need to buy a separate palette for those because I never use them and I kind of forget they're there. But yeah, I just have these single blushes and highlighters. Same with this one. This is also a highlighter. It's a very icy purple, and it is the shade Sucker from Pretty Straight Your Face. So completely forgot both of those were in there, and okay, very good for me to know that. But getting into this shade, so it's more of an kind of iridescent, but pink and gold shade. This is Sin. So it's part of their Galaxy collection shadow. Really beautiful. Oh, that's so pretty. As you might have been able to tell, I really like my pinks. So yeah, that one is beautiful. Then after that, so here it's more of a golden shade, and I see a little bit of like blue/purple specks in it. This is the shade Unexpected, and very shockingly, one of the few single shadows I have a pan in, and it reminds me that yeah, I really need to kind of start working on panning these because this was such a fun one to use all the time. Shade that I really like, and I'm just really a big fan of this type of multi-chrome as well. After that, we have another kind of pinky, like icy pink right here. This is the shade Opal. So definitely more iridescent, kind of like pink sparkly, really nice though. Like a little bit lighter than Sin, but I feel like in the pan they do look relatively similar, but yeah, a little bit more lighter, a little bit more icy. And then we have a much more pink shade, which is AKA. So again, just very sparkly, very pretty, very multi-dimensional. I find, like, I just find these so sparkly and so pretty. Here we have the first of our purple shades. This is Plum, which is right here. So it's a darker purple, has a little bit of, I find, like pink and gold specks in it, and again, really sparkly, really pretty. A lighter purple option and a little more like lavender is Insane, and that's this one here. So you can see a little little bit lighter, a little bit more lavender. This is definitely more plum, I'd find. A gunmetal shade. We have Fairy Acid. So it's definitely more gray gunmetal, a little bit of like sparkly like gold moments in it, but very, very gray, very silver. Another yellow, but this one is really like, this is gold, whereas this one is kind of like a little like very, very lightly gold leading. This is straight up gold, and this is 365. And then the final one is this blue we have here, and that is the shade Bora Bora. Very fun blue. I've worn this a ton of times, and it's very, very bright, very vibrant, and really gives like fun summery vibes. Okay, I just swatched out the remaining matte shades in that palette. So first off, this is more of like a dusty green. It is Beach Ball by Cindy Grace. Then that's kind of it's more of a mustardy yellow. Like it looks a little vibrant, but definitely has a little bit more of like a yellow orangey loony base. Geese Lane. I guess it kind of does look like, I would say like almost like a geese bill. Then we have Spring Showers. So kind of like, I would say almost a dusty blue as well. This one's interesting. Like I would never say it's purple in the pan. It definitely looks much more blue, but this is Conjuration by Copacetic. I think it's more of a satin, but I am just kind of considering it a matte for this one. We have a dark blue, almost black, which is Crashing Waves by Cindy Grace. And the final one we have there is Arsenic by Copacetic. I really think this is a fun shade. I need to definitely use it soon. Okay, so I have the next few rows. Starting off with this shimmer. This is Bubbly Clouds by Copacetic. Really, really pretty, like light little purple. You can't really see this shimmer as well in the camera, but it's cute. It's cute. It's just like a nice little lavender. And then we have some grays. So this from Cindy Grace, it is Glistening Storm. And this again looks very gunmetal. So it gives, it doesn't say, but it's giving more of that like satin finish / very light metallic. It doesn't look like anything too intense or multi-dimensional, but just very like gunmetal type of shade again. I do think that this one, oh, can we focus? This one is super interesting. I think it has a very, very interesting kind of finish to it. So it is Plumas by Cindy Grace. And I don't know again if you can see it on the camera, because sorry, my camera is terrible, but it definitely has a little bit of like a brown lean to it. And when that shift, you can kind of see like, I don't know if it's more copper or what, but it has a little bit of a brown shift, and I think it's really, really pretty. / that formula is really, really nice. And then this one is super sparkly, and it is Android by Pretty Sure Your Face. And yeah, just a very sparkly gray. So very, very nice. And just in case anyone's wondering, I used to be an affiliate for Pretty Sure Your Face, so I do have quite a few shades from them because of that. Now we're getting into more browns / coppers, golds, I don't know. So this shade, again, in camera, looks very, very different than in person. It looks super bronze in person and really like more of an orange, but this is Coffee Cake from Cindy Grace. Really pretty, like just fall inspired coffee shade. I like it quite a bit. Then next one down, so much more bronze, a little bit darker, a little more brown. This is Butter Cake by Cindy Grace. So very, very nice. I feel like, honestly, this is making me just want to do a Cindy Grace order. I feel like buying more from them. I don't need to, but I want to. So this is a little more pinky, and again, still kind of bronze looking. Looks a little bit similar to this one in person, but slightly more pinky, and it's Fireworks by Cindy Grace. Then much more bronze, looks very bronze in person. This is Kite Flying by Cindy Grace, and again, like very, very brownish too. Then a more orange leaning shade next. Just I have to point out all the formulas for all these Cindy Grace ones is spectacular. This is Sand Harbor. Just also, they look so shiny and so pretty. And then the final one we have is Azalea Bloom. So just a darker one, a little more like, I don't want to say plum, but you know, kind of giving that. And yeah, just another beautiful Cindy Grace shade. So that is that arm. Okay, and now we're just on to the final few shades from that gigantic palette. So first off, let us look at this iridescent shade here. This is, oh my god, Starry Sky from Pretty Sure Your Face. So iridescent, it has a little bit of blue, a little bit of pink, just very, very pretty. Very, very pretty. Then next to it, underneath, another iridescent, but this one is much more white. It is Red Light, Green Light from Pretty Sure Your Face. And I find that this one just really is like a white shimmery iridescent. Very, very nice. You know, nothing that crazy special. After that, we have this beautiful, beautiful light lavender purple. And this is Smiley by Pretty Sure Your Face. So kind of more of like a silvery purple, if that makes sense. Like it's very lilac-y, very light. And I really, really like how sparkly this one looks. We have Periwinkle by Pretties for Your Face. More of a matte. I think it's satin, but you know, doesn't really look anything that crazy. And now from the Pastel Roses. So this is Botany, and I don't know how well you'll be able to see it in camera, but it is a green with a very different pink type of shift. I'm trying to move this camera so you can see it more, but you don't really see it as well in this camera, but it does just look kind of green here. It does definitely have a little bit of a pink shift to it, and really, really, really pretty. And final shade is Cupcake from Pastels for Your Face, Pastel Roses. And this is blue with some purple shifts in it. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. They truly do make some of the prettiest shades, and I know I have a lot more that we're going to see and that are very, very special as well. But that is this gigantic palette done. And this is one that makes me, I kind of want to eventually just move all of my matte single shadows into this one and have all of my iridescent shades and other things. But there is that issue of these JD Glow ones. Like, I don't know if I should make a separate single palette just for them because they don't fit as well with the others or what. But I do think eventually I just want only the matte single shades in here. I think that would kind of make more sense for me. So that one's done, and let's move to the next. Okay, we're doing the green palette next, which this is just so beautiful. And I mean, I know I'm gonna rave so much about like every single color palette, but I love greens. I also love like pinks, purples, and blues, and that's why I have so many of them. But this is beautiful, and it makes me very, very happy to look at. So first we're gonna look at this like really interesting yellow shade. So this is from Copacetic. It's 1400 degrees, and it's one of their flaky shades. And this was an interesting one putting on because it really, really came off like, well, I mean, in the pan, it was just like flaking like crazy. And it's interesting to see like how much you really need to build these up to get to full opacity. Really, really interesting formula. And I haven't ordered from Copacetic in like a hot minute, but I'm interested to see what their formula is still like, because I know that I've had these for a while. Also, hi, my nails are chipping because I keep washing things off. Okay, I think this might be one of my favorite single shadows I have in my collection. This is from the Pastel Roses. It's the shade Starburst, and I have this really, really intense love of golden shades like this that are a little bit darker, a little more like interesting, and that have like some things going on in them. Like even just you can tell in the pan, it is an interesting shade, and it just kind of like, this one has a little bit of red, a little bit of maybe like more coppery things in it. I love it. It's so interesting, and I find this always looks so interesting on the eyes too, like very wet and just very, very interesting. Next up here, so a greeny shade from Sydney Grace. This is Flip Flops, and it's interesting. Like, I find this looks like a really grungy, murky kind of green, and I really, really like it. We have next a more mint kind of shade. This is Haunted by Pretties for Your Face. Yeah, very mint, just a really fun, interesting kind of shade too. Like, I'm kind of getting to that point where it's like, okay, everything, it's just interesting, it's fun, I like them. Next up, so this is from Copacetic too, and it's the shade Flourish. So this is a little bit of that like flaky formula again, so you have to do several layers to kind of build it up to opacity, but you can do like just kind of one quick pass over to do like just a little sparkle. Very interesting, like the different ways that you can work with it, and I really, really like it for that. A much more grungy kind of mossy shade, which is Deep Woods by Pretties for Your Face. I feel like that definitely does give woods. It gives a deep grungy like foresty vibes. Next one is a little minty as well. This is Pretties for Your Face, Hidden Treasure. Kind of like a crumbly formula too, but very, very pretty. Different from this one, which I do appreciate. I think this one gives it like a little more whiter, a little more intense that way, but very cool. Then vibrant green. I love it. Radiation by Terra Moons. I love a neon green. Like, I have to say, it's something that I always get so excited about, and I always really, really love. And this shade, so fun, so intensely vibrant. Every time I wear it, it's like a showstopper almost. And I need to wear this again soon. I think that this one, very, very interesting shade too. So this is Crazy Pete by Pretties for Your Face. Very unique in my collection. Like, I don't think I have a lot of greens like this, and it's again hard to describe this one. Like, I think it's kind of murky but very light. I don't know why I'm thinking frog. Like, is it giving me frog? I don't know, but I really, really like this one a lot. And then this final one, it's like almost not green, but it's a very like gold to almost bronze. Like, look at it in that light. You would never guess that I'd put that in green. It's like almost bronze, gold, purple. And here's the pan, and this is the shade Explosive by Pretties for Your Face. So interesting. I love multi-chromes like this that really, really give you like wildly different things. Yeah, that one's beautiful. And let's just appreciate all of these beautiful, beautiful greens. And over to the other arm now, and even more green shades. So very first, we have more foresty. In certain lights, it does give like a little bit of a interesting reflect. Like it does go kind of a dark green to a lighter green. This is Love's Band by Pretty Straight Face. Next one, kind of like a lime green, but it looks like it has a little bit of like a pinkish pigment in it. This is Hobgoblin by Pretty Straight Face. Just a very pale shade, and that shift is very, very subtle, but it's very pretty. Again, not sure how well you can see it, but in person, it looks very different. So this green, I feel like this is kind of like a typical green when I think of that. I don't know how to describe that. This is Alpine by clionadh. And I guess I'm thinking that because it's giving very tree. Yeah, like that just screams tree to me. Next one I accidentally swatched twice because I wasn't paying enough attention. It's Weeping Angels by Copacetic Cosmetics. I think that was part of a Doctor Who collection. Again, very like tree, very like a pine tree kind of. But yeah, you can see it there. Accidentally did it twice. I think this is another good example of the flaky formula, and kind of like you can see in a different level of opacity, and just seeing like what it looks like. Just kind of like, I think you get a clearer view of it right there. But this is There Is No Try by Copacetic, part of their Star Wars collection a while ago, and just a nice kind of, you know, Jedi lightsaber blue, purple, wow, purple, oh my god, green, help, I've been filming too long. Another kind of piney green. This is The Daily Rind by Copacetic. Yeah, just kind of tree green, darker green. This one kind of similar. I feel like similar type of vibe. It is Sour Girl by Copacetic. A little like bluer leaning, if that makes sense, but very alpine again. And the final shade is Globetrotter by Pretty Straight Face. And I think this is very similar to the one up above, where it's a bit darker than lime green, but I do see a little bit of like a pink / purple reflect through it, and I really, really like that. So again, here is both arms of green swatched out. So if there is a slight change in like color and stuff, if there's a slight change in lighting, I am coming in the next day, mainly because yesterday I took a break to have dinner, and then by the time I came back, the lighting was terrible, so decided to just push this till today to finish. So we have our palette of clionadh shades, all of them except for this first one, which is from Fantasy Cosmetica, and it's the shade Book. And this is a holographic shade that like truly has my entire heart. It's one of my favorite shades in my collection, and I love too that it's like a neutral with this holographic effect in it. Just makes it really, really fun to wear every day. Then next, this is, oh, I'm wrong. That's Dazed from Copacetic Cosmetics. I guess I thought I had like clionadh in here mostly, but that was a mistake. This is a really pretty purple with some like blue specks in it. And then we have a Spark from clionadh. So very, very icy blue. Very, very pretty. And now we're getting into my stained glass shades. So the stained glass shadows are definitely what clionadh's most known for, and definitely my favorite as well. They're expensive, but I do think they're kind of worth it. And I do mostly get like 1 or 2 a year. I really don't go too crazy on it, usually on like one of their anniversary sales, but you know, I'm slowly building up a collection. First off, we have Royal Pear, which I do think is my favorite. I also have a matching nail polish to this one, and it's so pretty. It's a lime green with a bit of a light pink reflect through it, and gorgeous. I think you can see it even more in the pan there. Then next we have Duchess. So light blue, and has a little bit, I think, of like a pinkish sparkle in it. This one's a little bit less extreme than the others, but obviously still beautiful. After that, we have Hilt, and it's this one, so blue with some gold and some pink running through it. This is another one. I haven't bought the matching shade yet, but I really, really want to buy the matching nail polish with this one. I keep putting it in my cart and then not picking it up, and I regret it every time. I also have like most of my nail polishes that I've been buying lately are from clionadh, so you know, I really, really love them. Here is a bright orange, which is Majesty. So orange with some yellow and gold in it. Very, very sparkly and pretty. A like kind of vibrant purple with some blue running through it. This is Glazier's Mark. So one of the glitter multichromes. So darker purple, a little more purple with blue. I really like this type of shade. This is Abrasion. And then a bit of a deeper blue. This is Tower. And the final one we have is Ciel, which is a beautiful, vibrant blue. So those are all my Clionadh shades. And next I'm going to do my purple shadow collection. Purple's my favorite. So first, a very, very light lilac shade. This is Candy Time by Pretty Through Your Face. Next, kind of a flaky, icy formula. Dreamland by Copacetic Cosmetics. Very, very nice. I love this shade of purple. I find it so, so unique. This is UFO by Terra. Every time I like swatch one of my Terra Moons shades, I'm just like, oh, I need more in my life. This one, look at how shiny that is. This is Very Perry by the Pastel Roses. So, so, so pretty. More kind of the lilac-y shades again. Parachute by Copacetic. And then here, I love this tone of purple too. Wind by Copacetic. So that's the first row. Okay. Oh my God. Please focus. Here, this is kind of more pinky. It's a little more raspberry, but still kind of purplish. Am I looking at the right shade? Yes. This is Galaxy Dust by Pastel Roses. Looks very different in the pan, eh? So more gray toned. Lucid by Chaos Dirt. Very, very sparkly next. Equinox by Copacetic. So another one, they're little flaky formulas. Then I find these ones, they all kind of have that kind of grayish tone. So right here, this is Rainstorm by Copacetic. Flaky formula again, very like loosely packed in the pan. Here we go. This is Witchcraft from, Pastel Roses. Okay, so purple with a little bit of blue running through it. And then the final one there, so kind of dark. This is Hex by Clionadh. So it looks a little darker, a little more gray. Not actually in person, it just looks more like kind of lavender, but there we go. Those are part of the purples. Okay, and now moving over to the next arm. So first one we have, again, kind of like that grayish purple. I tend to buy a lot of shades that color, I guess. This is Electrified by Pretty Through Your Face. So that one right there. Then more of a blue purple. You'll see kind of in the pan. This is an interesting one from the Pastel Roses. It's Confetti. And I really, really like the way that they lay out their shadows in the pan. It always looks really, really interesting. Very similar with this next one too, which is Cream Dream. So you can see in here, it's like all yellows and purples. And it does come out just like a grayish purple, very, very much on the arm, but really, really like this one too. Okay, and then this one right here, this is Potion by Pretty Through Your Face. Then we have, this one's very, very sparkly. It is Constellation by Pretty Through Your Face. And this one looks, it has a bit of a blue and a pink tinge to it, more in the sunlight. And it is Major Tom's the Junkie by Copacetic. Okay, so we have this one. It does not look very purple in swatched out, but this is the pan here. This is Sinister from the Pastel Roses. So kind of purple and pan. I mean, not really, but more of like a brown bluish kind of shade. Then after that, so again, kind of a grayish purple. This is Fluent by Chaos Dirt. Then more of a very, very flaky, darker purple. It's Nightshade by Pretty Through Your Face. We have next, so more pinky toned, is Reverence by Copacetic. So more of a black base purple, I'd almost say, is Scorched by Pretty Through Your Face. Final one is kind of blue, definitely more blue leaning. This is Full Moon by Pretty Through Your Face. So this is all of the purple swatched out. And now we're going to go into the final palette I have, which is just my blues. Saying that these are blues is a little more loose of a term because there's a lot of iridescent shades, a lot of silvers, and yeah, a little more loosely blue, I guess, a little bit more of a open interpretation. So first one, this is definitely a silver. It's white. This is Magical from Pretty Through Your Face. And then a little, so still silver, but having a little more of a yellow cast to it. We have Charon by Terra Moons, a pure silver, and this one looks really, really pretty. This is Icicle from Clionadh. So this is kind of getting, it looks more blue in person, like a very like iridescent blue. That one's really, really cool. We have Heavenly by Pretty Through Your Face. So another very, very icy kind of white shade. This is Pendulum by Copacetic. Like a slight tint of blue, but very, very icy. And then this shade is stunning. Like what I'm seeing on camera versus in person is so different. So you can see all the yellows, orange, green, everything. And this is what the pan looks like. Like you would never guess that that would be the shade that you get. This is from Pastel Roses and it's the shade Hypnosis. So next up we have this one, which is more of still kind of a gray tone blue from the Pastel Roses. This, oh, actually no, sorry, from Pretty Through Your Face. This is Sweetness. Then a very, very blue, a very sky blue is Arctic Circle from Clionadh. A little more gray again. This is Splendid by Pretty Through Your Face. So very, very sparkly blue. There's the pan, and this is Forest Fairy from the pastel roses. A little bit darker. Next we have Charm by Pretty Straight Face and a purple at the end. I guess I kind of mixed up a lot of purples into this one. So this is Omen by Chaos Dirt right here. And now to the other side, which is, you can see a lot of grays again, and I went some like very weird dark colors. So a very dark blue to start with. This is Magica by Copacetic. A purple, a flaky purple too. So it's Dalek by Copacetic. Yeah, part of their flaky formula. So this took quite a few layers to build up. More of like a gunmetal blue almost. Jubilee by Pretty Straight Face. Also looks very purple. A straight up dark gray. This is Black Hole by Pretty Straight Face. A silver, kind of like a green leaning silver though. Emperor by Copacetic. And finally, like a very, very sparkly black, we have Jezebel by Copacetic. And on to the finals. So this one, again, a dark blue with a bit of like a black lean to it. This is Multiverse by Terra. I really, really like this one. It's been one I've loved a lot. Then a silver, again, another silver, wow. This is Fog by Clionadh. I think this one definitely is like a smoky leaning gray. Then this blue next is Calx by Clionadh. I like that tone quite a bit. Something that looks very, very gray is Carbon Steel by Clionadh. That one right there. Carbon Steel by Copacetic. Another very gray shade. Zombified by Pretty Straight Face. And finally, like a gray leaning purple, which is Night Rose. And here's all the blues / grays. So with that, we're actually all done today's video. So that was just my single shadow collection. Like I said, only got rid of one that just kind of like fell apart in the pan. Otherwise, really no intention to declutter anything. Thanks for watching, and thanks for being here. Would love if you'd consider staying, and hopefully I'll see you in a video very, very soon.